Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bridge Walkers. We are so grateful to be here. I am Michele Amburgey, and I am here with beloved Rev Ned and beloved Dana Sparkles. We don't even know what his real name is, but we know he sparkles. And we're so excited to be here and to bring you a show today about finding your sacred self. You know, it's so important that we all really begin to move into that knowing and that understanding of who we are. And that's why when we got together, started talking about what our next show would be, that energy came through really, really strong. And so this is Find Your Sacred Yes, which is you are sacred. And so let's begin with a prayer and set the intention, set that beautiful sacred space for us to work. And then we get to enjoy Rev Ned's amazing video. And then we'll move in. And we also today are going to also receive blessing of Dana's drum at the end too. And so we're just so grateful to be here. So grateful that you guys are here. So let's all take a nice deep breath together and breathing in as one. Oh, and breathing out. And I just invite all of you to just place your attention on your heart chakras. Just move into that space of love and peace. I also call that heart chakra that doorway to your soul, a doorway to your sacred space, who you are as a sacred and holy being. And as you're feeling into this, hear this prayer as I speak. All that I speak for each and every one of you. And we begin with sacred and holy presence, I am. Be with us and hold us close. Love us and remind us of the greatness of you that is within each and every one of us. Blessed, eternal, loving presence, let us feel you move within us like a great wind of knowing. Let the ancient presence become one. Allow it to become one with us and let us receive its divine wisdom. Holy essence of pure love, I am. Bring the upwelling of your ever enduring essence into our hearts, into our minds, and into our lives. Awaken the DNA encoding within us that tells us where we come from, who we are, and how to create with your purity. Let us know the power of love, and let love lead the way in all of our actions. Beloved within, holy essence, sacred presence, I am. Thank you for the knowing, and thank you for the awakening and for the love. And thank you that I now remember my holiness. Thank you that I now live my eternal loving presence. Thank you that I am, and that I know I am in the all that is. Beloved, I am. Beloved, I am. Beloved, I am. And I invite each of you to just breathe in, breathing that prayer in through your nostrils, into your body, and speak, whether out loud or within your holy presence, I am. And know that truth. And then take another nice deep breath, breathing in. Oh, beautiful. So let's enjoy Rev Ned's amazing videos. I can't wait.
Hey, Michele, I want to say something
Sure.
to set this up. Last month,
Yes.
we filmed on Rabbi's, the land that he takes care of up in the Grove. This is down on the spirit path. That's just as sacred, has portals. And whenever I'm there or in the earth and we're doing ceremonies, I'm always reminded from the entities and the energies that I'm sacred. They're sacred, and they keep expanding that energy of sacredness. And hopefully you'll see this in the video, because I had the goosebumps and the hair standing just before I started laying tobacco down and praying. And I couldn't get the electronics to work at first, like the last time. I had to smudge twice. I smudged me instead around me, and everything started working. Yay! I loved doing these there on the land there.
Oh, and Rev Ned, they're so powerful. Last time I was taken on such a journey that I don't even remember the video, but I remember the journey. So I'm really looking forward to it. And I invite everybody to just really allow yourself to receive the blessings that these videos hold, because they are so amazing. And I just want to say hi to everybody who's here. We have a few new people. We got Dan is here, Stone Hobbit is here, my new friends. And so thank you guys for being here. Nadine, Karen, Miss Jules, Bits, everybody's here, and we're so happy you're here. So let's go to the grove.
Hello, sacred ones. Welcome to Bridge Walkers. Greetings and wonderful loving energies to each and every one of you from here on the spirit path of Mama Earth, cared for and beloved by Rabbi Earth. On this program, we're going to share on Find Your Y.A.S S. You are sacred. For Rev, this sacred place is the right place for me to create a video about you being a sacred Y.A.S S. Yes, you are a sacred being of the more. This is a most sacred place here on the land, and a very sacred place for Rev. Many a ceremony at midnight, around 1 or 2 o'clock, we would walk down the path from the grove to come here. The walnut grove is behind me, and the energies and entities in there would embrace me and try to pull me in to come visit. And the other two-leggeds out here would hold on to me and keep me here. Fairies and orbs and many types of beings appear here. They're here now. The energies are amazing and multidimensional. And when we walk through here at night, we've gotten dizzy, filled full of joy, and I've fallen several times here. One of the young men who come to our ceremonies we called Wind Reader, because in the pitch darkness, he could read the energy where we were to go, and he would lead us. We would follow him. Mother Earth has spoken to me from here and has lit up with strings of light. Every time I come here on the path or the bowl or the grove, I'm reminded that Rev is a Y.A.S S, that I'm a sacred being. This land with these spiritual energies and high insights are great teachers of just how sacred each and every one of us are. You are sacred. We are naturally connected to all that is in amazing ways. You see, scientists have discovered our brain can flow in 11 dimensions. The spirit path and grove and bowl prove that scientific fact that we are multi-dimensional beings. Again, the land is sacred. In other words, Mother Earth is sacred. She can be herself here. I will repeat this. Mother Earth and her children can be themselves here in complete freedom of the mystical more. The higher entities and energies are very sacred. Again, there are sacred portals here. You are sacred. The sacred energies here of love and to enjoy meshing with us humans, especially those who walk and breathe in their own sacredness. You know, the Y.A.S journey. Sacred ones, most of us have allowed the culture to hide and to cover over our sacredness. And the culture tries very hard to keep a distance between what they desire for you to become and who we really are, a sacred being of the mystical more, as we journey around the galaxy. Here's a story that Rev will utilize to demonstrate this point that you are a Y.A.S. You are sacred. Long ago, when the universe was first created and everything was put in its place at that time, the Creator, the divine energies, pondered where to place these beings' own sacredness. I don't want to leave it lying around just anywhere. This sacredness should be in a place where only those who truly desire to be their authentic selves, and then they will discover the cosmic gift of just how sacred they are. Some celestial beings suggested hiding in the bottom of the ocean, but the source said that people will build submarines and find it there. Other celestial beings wanted to hide it in the stars, but again, this cosmic consciousness said that galactic ships will be built and people will find it there. Finally, this cosmic consciousness said, let's hide it deep within every person's heart in their sacred essence. Only the sincere seekers will think of looking for it there. Thank you. Millions of people have traveled to sacred sites on Mama Earth because they are looking for sacredness and have not found it within them. In other words, they have gone outside of themselves to find true sacredness when it is within them. There's nothing wrong with visiting sacred sites, beloved ones, but think, if one visits a sacred site like here in the Spirit Path, and they know without a doubt how sacred they are, what can happen when the sacred waves of energy merge? There is a celebration of the mystical more. Doors open and portals open. And I don't mean just portals to take you somewhere, which has happened at least twice to me here, but your sacredness, connecting, messing with the sacredness of the site of Mama Earth and her children. The portals within you will open up uploads and insights and knowledge, and these merging energies of sacredness come together in different dimensions, meshing together, proving that we are multidimensional beings. Discovering and unwrapping our sacredness brings incredible connections to pure love and joy and understanding and tranquility flowing within us and from us. Rev in the sacred spirit path here, that sacred Mama Earth, her children, are sharing with you that you are a Y.A.S. Truly you're sacred, a sacred being of the mystical more. We have to be aware of the lower energies we allow to enter us and the lower energy we release each day. This is part of walking the path of sacredness, being responsible for our energies. Discovering our sacredness is discovering who we are, beautiful beings, a cosmic more. Enjoy this Bridgewalker program. Michele always has wonderful, wise wisdom to share. And Dana Sparkles has a song, The Deep More for you, and Rev has a few things more to share about you being a sacred being. Yeparu, you're a sacred gift of creation, and we are glad you are here to go sacred bridge walking with us. Enjoy the program.
Oh, that is just so beautiful, Rev Ned. Thank you. I'm sitting here with tears rolling down my face with the beauty of what you're bringing. Thank you so much.
We thank
Thank you.
the spirit path and um, the entities that are there. They always welcome me, and they've it took a while to trust. We've done many ceremonies there, and these are the ones that asked us to weave the land back the way it was through a
Wow.
ceremony with Uncle Dave and with Rabbi, which we did back in 2018. And when we come, it's like a family reunion when I go there. It really is.
Wow. I can feel it. I can feel it. This is now the second time with these videos that you're doing from the Grove where I too feel welcome. And I found myself last time I was walking down the path. This time I was just sitting under a tree. There was a rock behind me, and they showed like my energy melting almost like a waterfall down into Mother Earth and just becoming one with that. And as you were speaking and the becoming one, it was wow. That's a powerful place. I hope everybody receives these blessings too. Would love to hear if you guys want to share in the chat your experiences of what you're feeling with these videos, and please share as we move along too, anything that you want to share with us as well. So we had some amazing conversation. Oh, yay. Stone Hobbit, Nadine Michelle, love your name. Um, um, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's we're so grateful to be able to be here and to be these conduits for spirit. You know, a lot of people talk about channeling and downloads and all that stuff, and you know, in our conversations, you know, Dana and Rev and I get together and we have these hours and hours of getting together and talking and sharing, and these beautiful things come up. And one of the things that we kind of had come up that was neat is we're not getting downloaded, we're getting uploaded with information. That information is always within that sacredness that you are sacred, we are all sacred. It is uploading from our inner wisdom, from the DNA within our body. Everything is there. And so allowing those uploads, and you begin to feel that. And it's very, very powerful. And I love that you use that word in the video, Rev, because it was just so cool. We got Mystic Mimi here today. Thank you, honey, for being here. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about really quick, and now we kind of do the free for all here, um, is about being programmed to be of service and not to care for ourselves. It's something, and I know I, as a woman, have struggled with that because I was raised to grow up and to be a mother and a wife and to work and to be in service, 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 service. And I was never taught to care for myself. And something that's so important is that it's not selfish to care for yourself. It's not selfish to do that, because when we remember who we are and we remember that we are sacred, and in that sacredness, God is within. Goddess is within. Whatever you call that eternal loving presence is within us. And when we take care of ourselves, we're taking care of God. When we honor ourselves, we are honoring God. When we love ourselves, we are loving God. And when we do that, it begins to radiate out into the world. And that is what is going to change this world. And it starts inside. It doesn't start service, doing more out there, giving more until we're exhausted, you know, working harder. That isn't what it is. It's loving yourself. It's honoring your limitations. It's honoring who you are. It's honoring your pain, your illness, your struggles as sacred. And in that, you realize that it's all God and that we're all one. And it's so beautiful. And, you know, we have to hear this over and over and over again for us to really begin to shift, because this little guy up here has a really good program that's been in operation for a long, long time. And so it's so fun that we get to, in this show, you know, and each time we come together and we help to remind each other, and we can look at each other and say, you are sacred, you are sacred. And it was so fun when we came, I don't even remember who came up with it. You are sacred, Y.A.S. And I remember a few years ago, you know, the big thing was like, yes, you know, instead of yes, it's like, yes. And all of a sudden I went, you are sacred. And so we have the sacred yes now. So that could be our thing. That could be our chant. Yes. When we find each other out in the world. Um,
Michelle, when you go
yeah.
ahead.
Oh, and I was gonna say, it's so important to take care of yourself and to honor yourself and to love yourself, because you are honoring God. You are honoring God, and when we do that, we're honoring each other, and that's what it's all about. It's what it's all about.
That's true.
Yeah. What were you
When you
gonna
were
say,
talking,
Red?
when you were talking, about how you were raised. One of the things sitting there on the spirit path and doing that, praying and meditating and smudging and leaving tobacco before I even started the video. And since I've been home and thinking about this, it's like how many people imprison their own sacredness because the way they were raised,
Yeah.
by programming, influence. When we don't embrace what our humanity along with our essence of being eternal, we'll find this fault, that fault with us. I'm so unwholesome in that. I'm unworthy of this or that. This imprisons our sacredness. For many, many years, probably 4 decades, I've taught how commercials, especially here, maybe the last 30 years, 20 years, they're basically they're saying you're messed up. Buy our product and use it, and you're being messed up will be helped by our product. And nah, it's covering up our sacredness. We're amazing beings of sacredness. We really, really, and every time I go out, and even on the back deck, when I connect to all that is, it's like they're telling me the birds, the hummingbirds, they'll come by, and it's like we have this sacred connection, this sacred union with all that is, and they're teaching me how sacred I am.
And
So
you really feel it when you connect with nature. When you begin, because nature is so easy to connect to. When you're out there, it speaks to you in every single molecule, in the birds, in the ground, in the trees, in the rocks, in the wind, in the air, in the sun, and it's just all you need to do is just be still for a moment. And that is such a great way to find that place within you. It's a great place to start. Is just go outside, sit on the grass, get your butt
yes,
in the grass.
yes, 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 yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that we were talking about ceremony too, and Dana, you had brought up how important ceremony is, and there's a ceremony that we do with ourselves all the time, and part of that is our how we talk to ourselves, right? Because ceremony is something you do over and over and over for a specific intention, but that can also be an unconscious intention. And a lot of times we beat ourselves up. We're not good enough, we're not tall enough, short enough, thin enough, fat enough, rich enough, poor enough, whatever it is, not good enough. And our self-talk can begin to be a ceremony that is not a beneficial ceremony. And so what I would like to do is to like ask each and every one of you, whether you're listening to this live, listening to it later, to begin to be conscious of the ceremony within your own mind and begin to be conscious of whether this is serving you and what you desire and how you want to live your life, or if this ceremony is something that is pulling you away from your true spiritual essence, your true sacred self, and begin a new ceremony, because that's the beauty of it. Every day you can begin a new ceremony. It's not something that has to continue. And something that I find often that really helps me, because I catch myself all the time, right? It doesn't matter who you are or what you do, you can meditate a million times. We still have programming. And what something that I do that's really powerful for me is that I will make a little altar somewhere where I will see it. Usually it's in my bedroom that I will see it every day, and just a little space and set up some crystals. I love crystals, so I use them a lot. And set up a little space, maybe a candle, to remind me that I'm on a new ceremony now. I'm doing a new ceremony now. Maybe I'll even put a note there like you are sacred, right? And do start a new ceremony, because you truly are sacred, and ceremony serves that sacredness within. And so I would love to you know like inspire you or whatever, give you this idea to begin to work with yourself, something that you can use. And we love to hear back. So when we're over, even though the show is over, you can make comments under this video, and I check back with them, and I think we all do too, and check back, and we love to hear what's going on with you because we really care. We're here because we care. We're here because we care.
Each day, each breath, and I've taught this for so long,
Mm.
every step is a ceremony. We are the elements. So when you wake up, you're breathing in the air. You walk to the bathroom and either brush your teeth, wash your face, get a shower. The outer water connecting with the inner water is everything we do. The air, when we're cooking, I use candles a lot, like you said that you do.
Mhm.
We're the earth, and that's why grounding's so important when we're outside, like there on the spirit path or out on the back deck of oneness. And that's each day is ceremony, and that leaves open the mystical more to come and to mix, and more sacred energies come in when we live like that. Instead of being concerned about this or that or this or that, there's a place for that. But when it overtakes your sacredness, then it becomes locked up again. It really does.
Yeah.
Good words, Michele.
Yeah. So well said too, Rev Ned. That's true. And I like how you're putting it. It does, it kind of locks it up. And but we're awakening now. That's why we have people here. That's why we're here. People are starting to wake up. It's like, wait a minute, this isn't working. I'm not happy. What am I doing? Why am I here? And that's when that door is opening, right? And you can see that bridge. It's time to walk over that bridge to find something new, to find a new ceremony, a new way. And this is so exciting. This is so exciting. Dan is saying he has a nice altar space with his crystals too. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Crystals are
Stone,
awesome. Yay.
Stone said something.
I love
Every
you guys.
every action I do now is ceremonial, connected appreciation of myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yas.
Yes.
Yas.
I love it. We need to get t shirts, guys. Merch. It's time for merch. Oh, my gosh. Because it's really all about frequency, right? That's what ceremony does is you're matching a frequency, the frequency of your intention. And it's what do you want to create? Match that frequency and it's created.
you know, you said something. And another way that happens for Rev, when I get these visitations from the higher entities, and they come visit here in 3D. They did that on the spirit path. They do it on the back deck. They've done it wherever. There's if they're doing this for Rev, that's like, I am sacred. I'm sacred. They love my energy, and I love their energy. The morning of my near-death experience, I'm sitting at the table where I do a lot of writing, which is right by our back door. So I'm in the house. 5 little gnomes just boop, boop, pop in. They don't need to knock or ring the doorbell. They just popped in, and they were in a semicircle where I was at. And what they said was, quote, "Dark church spirits desire to destroy you," end of quote. That's what they said. And they poofed. But the interaction of love and what they said. And I had visitations a year and a half by an angel before that saying, "Are you ready? Get ready." It's like, that's pretty cool. They're coming to speak to Rev. And an old Franciscan priest told me, "Prepare to die." I'm praying to die. And 2 weeks later, he was gone. So all these beings, and then when I did have the near-death experience in the afternoon after seeing the 5 gnomes, guess who was up on the sacred bridge? The 5 gnomes in a Hioka fashion, counterclockwise, reversing the energy. And besides some of my ancestors, this priest was up there, this Franciscan elder that I fell in love with. He was up there smiling at me, like, give me. It's amazing when all these visitations I have, the Merkabas and what they share. And it's like, this is really cool. We are sacred beings. It's
Yeah.
really.
And that acknowledging that opens that up. I've been doing so much more of that. I went through, and not even realizing it, but a couple of years ago, I kind of went through a little phase where it was like, is this real? I've been doing all the spiritual work for a couple of 2 decades. It was like, is this real? Am I kidding myself? Are these angels real? Is this real? What am I doing? What am I doing? And I kind of started just backing away a little bit, and never completely, because it's so my heart and soul, but just started kind of questioning. And it's good to question. It's good to question. And I told the angels that I work with, because I've been an angel, they came to me years ago, and I said, I'm not sure if this is real. You need to tell me if it's real. And I'm like, so back off and let me figure it out. And all of a sudden, it was like there's this void in my life, right? And I'm kind of like, oh, maybe that was real. And so it's really fun, because in that acknowledgement, the angels are coming back in, and I'm really beginning to work with them very powerfully. Ooh, I'm getting chills when I'm talking about it. And it's all these subtle energies that it's so easy to doubt. And it's so easy. Oh, look who's here, engaged Reiki. It's so easy to doubt, and it's so easy to question. It's like, was that real? Was that feeling, were those gnomes that showed up for me, was that real? They popped in, bloop, and left. Was that real? And it is real. And this is another thing about finding your sacred, when you realize within you, and you don't even have to know it 100%. You just have to say, what if that's true? What if I really am sacred? You are opening up to everything, and opening those doorways, and allow it to be. And don't doubt. Say yes. I am sacred. I am connected to these beings. Of course, the angels would want to work with me. Of course, the gnomes are here. Of course, the higher beings. Of course, the Lyrans and the Pleiadians and the Arcturians are here with us. Of course, angels. Of course, masters. Of course, the Christed one. Of course, they are, because we're all sacred. And it's so important now, at this time of such great change on our planet, in this entire universe, really. We're planet centric, but it's our entire universe is changing. And most of us that are here to discover this, because we're part of this positive change. We're part of this positive change. And so I'm super happy to be here. Yay. Look at this, is so fun. Everybody's saying hi to each other. It's like a family.
One of the things that flows from knowing you're sacred, and then when you're, say, again, we're on the spirit path, since I had that video there, it's like this pure love just flows between those entities and energies and Rev, and it keeps. That's what the goosebumps were about. It's like and then Mother Earth and her children, embrace. There were so many different facets of being sacred, but the love,
Yeah.
this pure love, and it's just like it transforms Rev. It really, really does.
Yeah. And it's the core of all of it. That's what the sacredness is that pure love. And Rev, you are such a powerful point of that pure love. And when I first met you, I was just like, who is this guy? There is this love presence. And I was like, I need to talk to him. And even with Dana, when I met Dana too, it was like, who are these amazing people? Where have you gentlemen been all my life? Because there's just this love. And this is what the sacredness is. It's just being able to be here, and we can feel each and every one of you that are here, and this happiness that's in here. People are like, hi, hi, hi. It's so cute.
We appreciate it. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's so wonderful. It's so
Was that a
wonderful.
Y.A.S?
That was
Yas?
Yas.
I thought it was.
It was. I love it. That's so cute. And something that we were talking about too is how some things that we can do to find our sacred, find that yas, that you are sacred, to where you really feel it. Because sometimes we feel it stronger than others. Sometimes, there's times when we don't feel it at all. It's like you're just this right in the matrix, right? Just right flat in the middle of the matrix that is distorted and inverted, and frankly, it's a little bit crazy. And there's some things that you can do, and we've heard about them, but a lot of times it's so nice to be reminded. And one of the ways to first step into it is in just being gratitude. Just take a moment and look around the room you're in, or the building you're in, or whatever, and just say, thank you. Thank you for these four walls. Thank you for the roof over my head. Thank you for the food in my belly. Thank you for the shoes on my feet, the clothes on my back. Thank you for the struggles that I have that make me stronger, and move into that gratitude. Because I find a lot of times that picks me up I kind of laugh. I call it when I'm in the matrix, when I've taken a blue pill instead of a red pill that day. And just moving into that gratitude, a lot of times that will help to lift that up. Do you guys have any other ideas or things that you want to share about that?
Asking just when you find your, I like these guys, like you guys are all saying. I believe we are a walking ceremony. I was raised traditional Christian, and I had a lot of experiences that didn't, they just didn't line up with that philosophy at all, or it just didn't fit into the book, so to speak. And that's what each of us are here for, because we're writing our own books. I can't believe it. It's amazing. And if we need other books to rehearse or study, or like what we can or should maybe ought to do in order to gain, in order to earn this self-love, we can do that. We don't, but those goalposts are, there'll always be a million of them out there, but there we are. Like if we just sit down, there we are. Since the show started, like bluebirds are over here hanging out and flying by, and they're like, hey, like this fruit's not ready. What's going on? You need to put some fertilizer on these things. Everything is in natural relation, and if we do have a capacity to sit and hush, like we can watch that world just kind of like take over this reality. And and the thing is like most of the things that give us bad days are not nature's realities. That's nature's reality doesn't give us a bad day. Commercial reality does. When we're chasing tails, for all the wrong reasons. It's what am I doing? Why am I doing it? How do I have to do this? Yeah. Or can I? Is there a way where I don't have to do this and still get everything I want? Like there's that slow roll into, let me, I am ceremony. Let me speak that future, and expect some answers.
Yeah.
Because they're there, that, every bird we see, every worm, just don't matter what it is, where it is. Like it's pretty much just holding up a mirror of ourselves and this whole personality, broader spectrum here. And we're here to feel being here. We're not here to wallow in it, but we're here to ask where we're at.
Yeah.
That's that, like ideal ultimate, like if we want if we want to just activate a ceremony immediately, then we ask the question, where are we at? Because number one, if you know, it's more than just geographical. It's perceptual, it's relational, it's mental, it's, you know, there's just so many levels of these things. And that's why native, you know, that's why so many traditional native prayers and just anything and everything begins with honoring all the directions, because all those like they're you know, all that's going on is why we are where we are. So, you know, accepting that for its value and say, hey, I can, you know, like, it may not be what I want, but I guess it is what it is. So that, because it needs honoring, you know. I don't need to judge it, but I need to see it, and with it, and, you know, with honor attached, without thinking that I have to necessarily cast it down into the pits of, you know, despair, you know, like, you know, nothing needs to go there. I don't need to send anything there. I you know, I want things to progress. We're here to relate with each other on a conscious scale and consent to a better future. And everybody that is in here, we are here to consent to seeing a better future for you guys. And that's why this show is there, because you are sacred, and but you got to accept it. You know, we can be beat over the head, you know, but like, it don't get in there until we consent. So that act of consent is it truly is the heart of all ceremony. You know, where do we want to be? Where are we at? Where do we want to be?
Yeah.
Where do we need to see ourselves?
Yeah.
Being supported. You know, that is a, and it covers, it's not selfish to want to be supported. You know, we all need to see, you know, we all have personal security blankets attached to that. And you know what? I think that we are, as we're allowed to be, you know, and as we can see, then that can happen. And, you know, and our responsibility towards that consciousness, like, multiplies and manifests those future gifts. But you know what? Troubles happen, so that way they separate out what shouldn't be from what future gifts can be. Because you know, where we are, it's not, obviously sometimes it's not where we want to be, you know. So like, there it is, you know. You know, let honor the sacrifices that come along, that go along with the sacredness, as helpfully and as humbly as we can, and anchor in that relation. You know, we are of God. You know, what any gene that we wish to resonate within, we can and we should. You know, and you know, and that's where all these totems come from, all these different resonations. What, you know, bluebirds have their own resonation, trees, you know, like Rev talks about all the time, anything and everything, it all has its own song to sing, you know. But if we can't hear it, then we're busy somewhere. We're occupied. You know. And maybe it's there to sing us a song. Maybe that's the only reason it's there, is because somewhere in that song that we largely don't understand is a key of consciousness that it's dropping off, you know, from the wings of sacredness direct. And just because we can't process that in a, you know, we don't think that animals communicate with us in that way, but they do. We couldn't be here unless they did. They laid the foundation. Yeah.
Absolutely. That is so cool. That's so cool. Stone Hobbit says DNA of angels. Yes, ma'am. We have the DNA of angels within us. Within us. And that's part of that having that sacred space is, being in a place of prayer. And a lot of people have different ideas of what prayer is. And when I speak of prayer, I always speak with prayer and meditation together. And prayer is communicating, and meditation is listening. And when you think about it, it's almost like nature is always praying. It's communicating, right? The birds are singing. Mother Earth is just filling us with her glorious presence. The sun is shining. The grasses are growing. The flowers are blooming. And everything is always communicating. It's a constant prayer. And part of our job is to be in that meditation, to listen and to pay attention and to see and to hear and to feel and to know. And that's another place when you begin to connect with that sacred energy, right? It's like all of a sudden, it's so much easier to realize that you are sacred because you're hearing the sacred prayer and you're meditating with that sacred song. It's so amazing. Oh,
Michelle, when you were asking about finding, discovering, unwrapping our sacredness, when we do, first of all, be alert of what I said in the video. What energies are we taking in?
yeah.
Through our eyes, through us, through our body, through our ears, through our heart thoughts, our mind thoughts. But when we start tapping in, yes, I am sacred, and start tapping that, we have to be even more careful what energies that are coming in. What can ground us? I mean, a specific element can ground. Mine's supposed to be fire. I love hanging with all the elements, as you well know, and it's just there's a responsibility in finding our sacredness.
Yeah.
There's a responsibility in opening it up and letting it bloom and expanding. And there's a responsibility in keeping that, engaging more with all the sacred energies around us.
Yeah.
It's so there's the ability to respond. We are sacred beings. We are sacred beings. And that's how I walk into the grove. But we go through a procedure when we go down the spirit path to get to the grove. We lay tobacco, we give thanks. And then when we get there, we give thanks. There's a spirit elder I gave thanks to the other day, who's the one that asked for the ceremony a few years ago. But just knowing that we're sacred and just build off that, just simple, and bring in the thoughts, I'm sacred, up in the head with the heart thoughts, I'm sacred, and mesh them together, and you have something. You really have something there. And those energies then that start flowing, some people call them mystical energies, right? That start flowing in these connections and this meshing. That's what some people will call them. And it's just like, oh yeah, let's go. Another day of living in a sacred way. Even when bad things, as some of the out there know, a bad storm went through here. I mean, it took a regular size on our back deck of this iron wrought table, and I saw it fly 60 feet in the air. Oh my God. That's the wind that we had, and it took down our biggest pine tree. I touch when I'm mowing on the zero turn. I touch and talk to them, and sometimes I go underneath of them and let them hug me. And this one was so special, and it's down. We lost siding, split our light pole in two that we put up about 3 or 4 years ago. Did a lot of damage, but it's like that tree says to use a part of it in ceremony. We lost a tree a few years ago in December, and I had no idea our son was making us a gnome village out of it. He took a piece of that wood home. He's an artist. And made this incredible. So we're going to do something special. But even in this sadness and there was the sacredness. We're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wind people talked big, but it was somewhat sacred when it was going on. And today, after thinking and reflecting, and it's just like thankfulness and gratitude that you were talking about, those flow from our sacredness. And it's like I'm even connecting more to this tree since it's uprooted. It took it by the roots, and
Wow.
so and again, it's being responsible for those negative energies that came in, and we can transform them into sacred energies, love, light, and amazing things happen. Amazing
Yeah.
things happen.
That's an amazing story. Those, I love when you said that the wind people were talking loud. They were, and they need to sometimes. And it's interesting because how we respond to things are oftentimes really good indicators of what our inner um, journey is, and if we are operating in our very highest sacredness, right? Because some people would be, lost a tree and so angry, and or you can choose, and it really is a choice to shift that into a positive thing. It's like, well, we'll honor the tree and we'll bless its life and be grateful for its presence when it was with you, and take pieces of it and do something very sacred with it, and being aware that the wind spirits were speaking very loud.
They
I
were. They
love the
were.
wind. I love the air beings, and I love that. Um, but I don't think I've ever heard it speak quite that loud. I might be a little like, may no shh.
And the tree may have made a sacrifice to protect the house or property
Yeah.
from damage as well. I mean that would have been the one that would have ripped the siding off or the roof, or and so it's like, hey, I done what I needed here. I don't care. Like, I know where I come from. I know where I'm going back to. So whatever.
Right.
That,
And that's how everything else lives.
Dana,
And
I
it
agree
is.
with you. Those
Yeah.
were my thoughts today because it's right next to our house. That it
Ooh.
sacrificed itself. It fell on the steps. It could have busted our deck all up, but we don't think it did. It's still out there. Um, it's laying on the steps, but it's not. I don't think there's any damage to it.
Wow.
But that's what I thought, that it sacrificed
Yeah.
itself, and now that's why I was asked to treat it in a sacred way, even when we start cutting it, to do it in a sacred way. And you know all about cutting trees, my friend, and do it in a very, very sacred way.
Yeah. And it's so beautiful because everything is sacred. That's another shift that comes with you know even just listening to this conversation that we're having today. Everything is sacred. Just you lose a tree and we're upset about it. That's our judgment and issue. But when you begin to look at things in a sacred way, everything serves the beautiful, everything serves love, everything serves God, goddess, creator, whatever terms you use for that. Everything serves it. So we might not like it, it might not be to our liking, we maybe got a broken up steps, but there's always a greater service, especially within nature. And even when we started the show, we had a fire really, really close. I was a little bit like, should I cancel? I don't know. And that fire, don't know what it is yet, but that serves a purpose. Everything within nature is serving that. And when you can begin to think on that and then begin to look for it, right? What could this sacredness of this experience that I don't like, but what could be the sacredness of it? What could be the meaning? What could be the higher divine meaning of it? And that could bring a lot of peace and harmony into your life as well. So we good. And actually, I got the chat up so everybody can see the chat, what everybody's saying. And I just, 30 or 90-degree turn here. I forgot that we could put this chat up here so everybody can see what was going on before. Was so beautiful with all of you guys. So it was so cool.
Yes,
Thank
it is.
you.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so we can read that. Nadine is saying same with pain. Yep, same
Yeah,
with pain.
beautiful.
And Nadine, that's what kind of where Rev Ned and I started this show and started this Bridge Walkers is learning to take pain and illness, because he and I both have some pretty serious physical things going on. Dana too. And and that bridge that we walk from pain into sacredness, from pain into the holy presence, and using that, and all, and it's not just pain and illness, using anything that we perceive that we've judged is not what we like, and crossing that bridge into the sacred. That's why we're bridge walkers. And so this is really cool. So that pain really is, I'm going to read what Nadine is saying. This is cool. Same with pain equals positive or neural inner stand. Yep, it's teaching and inloads of energy, or letting go of past old, yep, energy. Yep. Yep, absolutely, Nadine. So many of us carry energy from past lives, what we perceive as past lives. The way I work is everything is in the now, so it's like concurrent lives. It's multiple dimensional lives. It's not necessarily a linear time frame, but we carry the energy from our multidimensional selves. We carry energy from, when we're in the womb, from our family, our lineages, our ancestry, all that kind of stuff. And we have a lot of cleaning up to do. And that's what a lot of us are here to do, and finding our sacred self, finding our sacred presence within. It's going to help us clean up. And, we don't have to go out into the world and heal everybody else. We heal ourselves. We heal group consciousness. We heal for the group just by healing this part right here. And it's so beautiful. Oh, engaged Reiki bridge walkers are light bearers that show the path can be walked. That is right. And you know what? You're a bridge walker too. Every single one of you that are here.
Absolutely.
You guys are bridge
Absolutely.
walkers.
Thank you.
Rosie wrote somewhere that asked about. Can you see it there?
Yes, she asked, how do we find our, I think that's what you're talking about. I can't scroll this way. Rosie, how can, here, let's put it up here. How can we find what it's our?
And what we're all saying is we are such sacred beings, such powerful beings, that is learning to live more from the inside out.
Yes.
I just did a video on, I use the example of joy. We let things around us, family, money, how things go out in the outside world brings us joy. It doesn't bring us joy.
Mhm.
No. You go inside and find out how sacred you are. There's a living well of pure love, joy, tranquility. And then those things, the marriage comes in, more joy. And then they just go back and forth and interweave, like we do with the land a lot, interweave. But learning how incredible. Again, I feel like saying it again. Our heart thoughts and our mind thoughts transform, and when they come together in that love, it's mighty, a mighty sacred vessel that we have. And sometimes something you two had shared is for Rev. Every time I've been with what I have, when I had the stroke 2 years ago, this time I was in the hospital for 13 days with the stroke. And I had mystical experiences. I had a Merkaba come in visitation, and the dark cosmic cousin that keeps coming to me came and visited after this, and it left love in the room.
Mm.
Dr. Gold came in the next day and she says, "What's this energy?" I said, "It's pure love." Every time she would come in from then on, she'd cry. She was a practicing Hindu. So when I had the C stuff in December of 21, I had the cosmic cousins come down around me, and I woke up. Well, it's crazy, but I usually have a sheet and a blanket and a quilt because we're in December. This is in December. And the sheet was pulled out of me and put on top like a nice pancake for first night. And I thought it was the little ones at first, the gnomes, because they like to turn on and off the light I have next to the bed, and they do all kinds of things, humoring me. The second night, I was so tired, the white blanket was down, and then the sheet, and then the quilt. And they pulled the white blanket out and put it on top of me when I woke up, and there was a clean pancake. The third night, I woke up, and they're all around me, working on me, touching me, healing me, and not from earth. And it was just like, oh, yeah, this is my family. And I went right back to sleep. Most people would have probably freaked out. When I woke up, the sheet that had been closest to me was pulled out. And I said, now I know who's been doing that. These every time something happens to me with the health, they're there. They come and visit and bring joy. I mean, I've had the gnomes dance on the back deck when I'm sitting at the table, and then they're gone. They're gone. They put a smile on my face, and that happens everywhere. Just the video I just put out about animals smiling to me, there's people think I'm nuts. When animals come and smile, I just did the tale of two toads and Rev I put out there. And I know Mama Tori was smiling at me. She came up the next day after we saved her boy. She came up the ramp almost onto the deck, and I took a picture and I put it out there. She's just smiling at me. And it's like, this is so cool to live like that every day, as Dana is with all his animals and plants and all the things that he does. And I learned from him. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing because we can cultivate our sacredness. We really can.
It's absolutely amazing. And along those lines too, I want to share something. You guys all know that our cat Mikey, Archangel Mikey, went missing last week. And the morning after he snuck out, he snuck out, the little brat. And the next morning there was a mockingbird that was out hopping around the back fence, and he was meowing, and he sounded so much like Mike that my daughter and I got up and we're like, oh my God, he's here. And it was this mockingbird. And it was like, and he was flitting around, and he wasn't looking at us. He was looking out, almost like he was calling the cat. And it was so beautiful and so wonderful. And it's all the different ways. And the crows used to always talk. I used to send the crows to go find him when it was getting starting to get dark. It was starting to get later in the afternoon. The crows would chase him home. And a couple days after I heard them, like they were out there, and I could see them like going around and around, like they were looking for him. And I told them, go bring him home. I know he's coming home. And it was weird because then they all took off down the way I know that he went. And so it's interesting. And nature communes with us. Nature shares with us, and it's so beautiful when we'll just listen and pay attention. So good. This is so fun. I love being able that everybody can see the comments and everything. Restream has done some new things. So this is really fun. I love it. We see everybody's on here. We're so grateful you guys are here.
Did you all hear the crow in the video?
I did not hear it, but I was sitting over by a rock melting into the earth. So
he was in a tree on the other side of the spirit path, just looking at me, and he was just speaking and talking. And I even stopped and thanked him. And then later on, you could hear her talking. Because I love my relationship with the crows.
I love the crows too. I've always had them. I used to live in a house that was kind of, lots of streets and roads and people, and, people would chase them off, and I had this huge tree in my front yard, and I'd come home and they'd be just full of crows. And I'd be like, hey guys, how are you doing? It's like, thanks for being here. I have a neighbor that's across the way. She goes, why do you talk to them? And I said, because they're magical. And she just looked at me like, oh, you're one of those. Yes, I am. caw, caw.
Everything it feels us. It feels that frequency. It's unavoidable, and it's there. Now, are the specific words? I don't know. It could be like more transmitted in like picture orientations.
Mm-hmm.
I know that when I ask my dog, don't go here, that's exactly where he goes, but I should have did the, hey, let's go here instead, and us, and that's, that is part of being walking ceremony, like we keep our questions on the quality, and, we just quit asking why things, why do, the things that we don't want, we got to quit accepting those conditions, because that's a frequency too, and that's not us. And we're not anything that happens to us. We're there to process it, transform it, and be the health that remains. No matter what that means, whether it be, it just, because everywhere there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of things that are not supposed to be. And all of these people that are stuck with that question of, how come why am I always negative, and it's like, I've spent enough time there myself, but that's the thing, we are sacred, and when we remember we are, then like that's the light flip activation that says, oh, wait a minute, I better start talking that way, because like, I'm going to get more of whatever it is that I asked for, and what am I asking for? Where am I at? Where do I want to be? And we don't need to accept these outside conditions just because they got us in a way that is emitting a frequency that's less than what we desire. See, that's what we're here for. To say, hey, you know what? Like, we don't accept that. Anything less than you deserve, we're here to shift that. Like, and because everyone deserves love, everyone deserves compassion, compassionate transformation. And like, responsibility is absolutely attached to that construct. We can't, we got to work with that. We got to honor it instead of, trying to find ourselves back in the same place.
Right.
Just because it's super easy.
It's like when we go, crap, what happened again?
Right.
Again.
But and that's the other part of being good ceremony, is saying never again. It's seeing and feeling what shouldn't have been, and like, when we say never again, that's a commitment that inside out says, ooh, wow, are the rules starting to change or something?
Yeah.
Am I starting to feel, is there sacredness almost in this room? I don't know. Let's wait around a few minutes and see, and like, if we can stay there long enough, 8 out of 10 minutes, 6 out of 10 minutes, what do we want to see? We know these other personal things in our life just need transformation, but we're not going to hang on the fugly. We're gonna say, you know what, we need to see better, and that's what we're here. We're here for no other reason.
Yeah,
we will be the better frequency for God's consciousness. We will leave that mark, and we're blazing a trail. And spirit will follow and fill that void for us the way it should be done. When we feel that proper relation.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to create divinity. Do we feel like walking gods? No, we feel like we've got poop on our feet. And that's not bad. You know, that creates resistance, you know, healthy resistance. You know, I was just telling these guys I've stepped in fresh cow patties like 5 of the last 7 days in a row, and wearing
Very sacred.
wearing just sandals, you know, or you know, flip flops. You know, I'm a flip flop kind of farmer. And you know, and you step in a nice fresh one, like, oh, you know, it's like, oh, look at you, you know, there you were, I didn't know you were there. But like, why get mad? You know, like, laugh, go get the hose and like rinse the shoes off and enjoy stepping in poop. Why? Because you know what, we're here. It's going to happen. We can get upset about it, but why? You know what? There's nothing good coming out of that.
Mm-mm.
So, you know, that is what this show's for, is to help, you know, everybody out there just anchor in something better for themselves, wherever it is in their lives that they say, you know what, I don't accept this less than. It's, you know, like, we need the more, like Rev's saying, we need the more. And like, you know, who says we need to define it as much as encourage it?
Yeah.
And support it. And let it come together. Let it come together, and let's honor that grace of, you know, how it can.
Yeah. Nadine says it's great fertilizer. Exactly.
Hey, Michelle, something, I came across this quote. I didn't know whether to share it or not, but something that Sparkle said. And I don't know how, Anton Saint Martin, I think he's a psychic. I think that's what the abbreviation stood for. But here's what he wrote, quote, and I'm thinking of you, Rosie, and all you precious souls out there. Quote, you are one thing only. You are a divine being, an all-powerful creator. You are a deity in jeans and T-shirt, maybe flip-flops. I just added that. And within you dwells the infinite wisdom of the ages and the sacred creative force of all that is, will be, and ever was. End of quote.
Truth. Whoop.
Good stuff.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, absolutely. That's so good. And you know, there is this thing that I wanted to kind of, we're gonna close up with a closing prayer, and Dana's gonna he's gonna sing us a song. He's gonna drum us a drum. I can't wait. But this was something, and Dana brought this up, and I kind of fleshed it out. But when we can decide and use this kind of almost as an affirmation of, and this is how it went: I consent to my divine power to make changes in my life, so I am living my life to the fullest. I give permission for my sacred to bloom and grow in my life. I agree to be blessed. I agree to be blessed. That's where a lot of this is. You have to agree to be sacred. Oh, I'm getting chills. Woo! Holy moly. I agree to be sacred. I agree to be blessed. Let that be a mantra that you guys use this next week, or, you know, this next lifetime. And let that be: agree to be blessed, agree to be sacred. Let that in. I almost feel like crying when I say that. That feels so beautiful and so important.
You deserve it.
Yeah.
We've all been through too much to accept anything less, and it's time to end anything less than what we do deserve. You know,
Yeah.
kickstart. You know, it's time to kickstart something better in motion.
Yeah. And we're doing it right now. We're doing it together, and we're supporting you in that. And however it turns out, in the most beautiful way for each and every one of you, because that's part of what the three of us do too. You know, is we come together and hold each of you in that sacred space for your highest good too. We're so grateful you all are here. Let's
Yes.
close out in our prayer, and then Dana, when I get done, I will invite all of our visitors here to listen. And so let's all take a nice deep breath and just breathing in and breathing out, and just allow, like, just the frequency of everything that you've heard here just begin to move into the frequency of all that you are. And we just say thank you, eternal loving presence, for the gift of this journey. Thank you that all of our relations are whole and sound, and that love leads the way. Thank you that the struggles, the worries, and the pain and the illnesses are now transforming in the remembering of who we are. Thank you for the turning tides and the love that leads me in all I do. Thank you for the understanding that I have the power to choose my sacredness as the first step, not the last. And thank you that I remember who I am. I am ceremony and ritual, and I am an eternal loving presence. And as I honor myself, I honor the all. I dedicate myself to gratitude, prayer, and meditation. I'm choosing to make my life a sacred ceremony. I agree to be blessed. I agree to be sacred. And as I choose this each day, I love. And I find that beloved I am. And you can repeat to yourself, I am sacred. I am divine. I am. And so listen, beloveds, to this beautiful song that Dana's prepared for us. Just take a nice deep breath. Mm.
Journey celebration song. We're going to accept our journey. We fell down in the mud a couple times, but that's all right. We're dusted off. We're back headed in the right direction. It feels good. We know exactly where we're going without knowing where we're going at all, and that's perfect. So thank you. Thank you for all that was. Thank you for all that is. Thank you for all that will be. Thank you for our healing, health, wealth, and happiness. Oh, Shamalaya. Oh, Shamalaya. Oh, Shamalaya. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, why, hello, hi, I'm Patrick, my cocky say, la, name, watch, oh, yeah, why, hello, hi, oh,
Thank you for that beautiful song. And in closing, we remember We are one. Blessings to you all until we meet again. We love you.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
High energies to each one of you.
Much love.